Okay, hello everyone. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in JustFlight's newly released Piper Turbo Arrow 4. We have a 122 nautical mile flight from Sierra Bravo Alpha, Santa Barbara, to Alpha Victor X-Ray, Catalina. Both of those are Orbx payware airports, and Catalina is also newly released, so we should have a lot to talk about for this flight. We'll be flying VFR, picking up flight following from Santa Barbara, getting a Bravo transition, and flying over LAX via the coastal route. So let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. If you've been following my channel, you know that I love JustFlight's Piper series, and I already bought the Piper Arrow 3, so when they released the 4 and offered a 60% discount, I had to scoff it up. Normally it's $45. With the discount, it cost me $15 US. Okay, as we run through the checklist and get started up, I will take you through the flight brief. So we are flying VFR from Santa Barbara to the Fillmore VOR, then we will request a Bravo transition using the coastal route, flying over LAX. There are several routes that you can choose from. You'll need the terminal area chart to find them in the margins. The coastal route requires that we fly at 5,500 and enter along the 323 radial to LAX and exit on the 123 radial from LAX. We will enter the route at the Sepulveda Pass and exit the route at the St. Thomas Bridge. From there, we'll head over to Catalina's VOR and do a lap around the island before coming in to land on runway 22. This does involve crossing 25 nautical miles of open water, so we're going to have a flight following for this entire trip to keep an eye on us, and we'll also have all of our water gear. We've got our life preservers and our waterproof radio in the bag underneath your seat. The model of the Piper Arrow that we're flying is the Turbo Arrow, so if you've already purchased the Piper Arrow 3, it's the non-turbo version. This is the turbo version. And the turbo version actually comes with two different hulls. There's the T-tail Piper Arrow 4 Turbo, and then there's the non-T-tail Piper Arrow 3 Turbo. Aside from the T-tail option and some different interior colors and liveries, the main difference between the Turbo Arrow and non-Turbo Arrow is the turbo part. So you're not going to notice that as much at lower altitudes, but as you climb up to, say, 10,000 feet, the turbo is going to maintain power where the non-turbo would drop off, so you'll really notice the improvement in airspeed when you fly at higher altitudes. In X-Plane, I have just about every JustFlight Piper product, including the Piper Tomahawk, which is one of my favorite airplanes. That's the T-tail, so of course I had to get the Turbo Arrow 4 just to fly the T-tail. For you, if you're asking yourself, do I really need both the non-turbo and the turbo version? I don't know. If you love Pipers like I do, yeah, sure, it's another flavor to fly, but there's not a huge difference between the two planes if you're kind of waffling about whether or not to buy both of them. I will say, though, the discount's pretty tempting. You know, it went from $45 to $15 if you've already purchased the Piper Arrow 3. Just like the Piper Arrow 3, the console is configurable via an iPad, so you can have different GPS and ComStack configurations. And what's interesting is that they've included the ability to add a third-party GTN 750, which is currently freeware in the beta stage, right into the modeling. So that's what I've selected for this. I'll put the link so that you can download that. According to their website, in the future you'll have to buy it, but right now it's free, so try it out. If you don't like it, you can always, or don't want to buy it, you can always just turn it off and go back to the standard Garmins that come with the Piper. Okay, I know half the reason you're here is to see what I think about the Turbo Arrow 4, but we've also got a new payware airport to check out, which is Catalina. And to really do it justice, I think we're going to have to hop into the drone and just fly around and check out all that detail. So let's go! Okay, if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of Orbx airports. And what's great about Orbx airports is not just that you get the airport, but often you get everything around the airport. So they will build up the town that's around it, add lots of features, and that's definitely the case for Catalina. And to really enjoy Catalina and really any Orbx airport, you gotta get close. So all this detail you're just not gonna see when you are streaking down the runway and rotating off into the wild blue yonder. So they've modeled everything behind the airport, around it, paths leading up. You've got signs everywhere. You can just go on a virtual tour with the drone camera and feel like you're there. It's really cool. I mean, look at the detail just in some of the signage here and the murals. It's awesome. But of course, this is just the airport. You've still got the island. And where it really shines is when you hop on over to Avalon Bay. So you've got it all. You've got the casino, you've got ships, you've got the harbor, you've got all the buildings, and just like the airport, as you zoom in on them, just the detail is there. And you know, this is always what's impressed me about Orbx airports. You know, when you look at the texture work, things look fantastic when you get up close. Will you see all this detail when you're flying by in your Turbo Arrow? Probably not. But boy, it would be awesome to take something like a Grumman Goose and land it here in the harbor and see things up close, or take a helicopter over all this. So I'm just really impressed with Orbx, and the detail of Catalina is fantastic. Alright, let's finish getting stuff set up here in the Piper, and then we'll get underway. Okay, let's call clearance delivery and pick up our flight following. Santa Barbara clearance, November 359 Golf Charlie with information, India. We are a P28 uniform, slant golf. Request flight services, destination Alpha Victor X-Ray Catalina via the LAX coastal route at 5,500. On departure, fly heading 083, maintain VFR at or below 2,500, departure 120.55, squawk 2414, November 359 Golf Charlie. Santa Barbara ground, November 359 Golf Charlie with information, India. Atlantic Aviation, taxi for east departure. Taxi and hold short, runway 25 via Bravo Alpha Golf, November 359 Golf Charlie.
Sounds good. Morning, Southwest. 702 is clearing the end, going to gate 3.
1702, Santa Barbara ground, taxi via Alpha Bravo to the gate.
Alpha Bravo to the gate, South 72.
I think most of the Orbx airports are on sale for Memorial Day weekend here in the US, so be sure to check this out if you'd like to get it. I think I scoffed Santa Barbara up previously on an Orbx sale.
Clear to the Van Nuys Airport, depart runway 7, turn right heading 120, Fern 7 arrival, direct, climb and maintain 3,000, 1010, 125.4, 4605.
Do a quick run up here.
Engine idle.
Santa Barbara Tower, November 359 Golf Charlie, holding short, runway 25. Cleared for departure, runway 25, November 359 Golf Charlie. No one on final. Cleared left. Cleared ahead. And we're good. I've flown the Piper Arrow 3 enough that I can tell that the engine sounds a bit different here in the Turbo Arrow 4. I like it. It also handles a little bit differently here on the ground. Drifting off center line, correct, and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Alright, past the threshold, above 400 feet, we'll make our turn. We've got photogrammetry right here around the airport, but then it quickly turns into auto-gen once we get away from the airport. And as always, we are streaming live ATC from live ATC net.
0380, wind 1907, runway 7 clear for the option.
Let's get our manifold pressure all sorted out here and RPMs for the climb.
Approach wind 2008, runway 7 clear, touch and go only.
Touch and go only.
Just 380, traffic gear inside, run a 5 mile right base, citation.
Okay, we are on track. Let's sit back and enjoy that awesome flight simulator scenery. Okay, as predicted, the Turbo Aero 4 was a lot of fun to fly. It definitely handles a bit differently on the ground and in the air. I like the T-tail, so if you love Pipers like I do, I personally think it's worth having both. It's just another flavor of your favorite plane to fly. Catalina looks fantastic. To really do it justice, you have to hop in the drone and fly around. Flying around in the airplane, it kind of goes by too quickly to see all those awesome details. So if you enjoy content like this, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, as always, for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.